Spelunky 2 is a roguelike game developed by Mossmouth and Blitworks. The original Spelunky game was released in 2008 and interestingly was created by a single developer called Derek Yu. Derek is director of this latest installment. The game is set on the moon and you play the role of Anna, who is trying to find her parents. The game's story is told through an in-game journal with new entries added as you progress through the world. The story is minimal but very well done with a nice art style. The journal is also used to capture information on weapons, enemies, traps, etc. and is a useful point of reference. With simple controls, Spelunky 2 only takes a matter of minutes to get the hang of. The controls are great in this game and you always feel in full control of your character. In typical roguelike fashion, you return to the beginning of the game after each death. On each playthrough, the levels are randomly generated and they do feel different from run to run. So much so that the game never allows you to feel quite comfortable with what lies ahead. You need to navigate your way to the exit point of each level, avoiding traps and tackling enemies along the way. The key to advancing in this game is learning how all the traps work and how enemies attack to avoid them in future runs. This game is intense and demands your full attention at all times, as you're always only one misstep away from death. Time pressure is applied by the ghost, which appears if you've been in a level for 3 minutes or break a cursed pot. The ghost will track towards you and kill you on contact. This makes for an absolute scramble to exit the level once the ghost appears, and I mostly died in the frantic rush to escape. You collect treasure as you pass through the levels, which can be used to buy items from shopkeepers. Figuring out what all the weird and wacky items do is a lot of fun. The game's soundtrack is funky and really enhances some of the game's comedy moments, of which there are many, and they normally involve your untimely demise. To the game's credit, I found a lot of the times my character died very funny and was more overcome by laughter rather than a feeling of disappointment. For a player like me who dies a lot, I did find the soundtrack a little grating at times. Next to the difficulty of the game. What can I say? It is absolutely punishing. You can be having a fantastic run, gain some extra lives, and be dodging all enemies' attacks and traps, and then, wham, you take one misstep, trigger a one-hit kill trap, and it's game over. To alleviate the difficulty, there are a number of shortcuts that can be unlocked that allow the player to start at later points in the game. I think the difficulty level of the game is pitched a little high and would have liked a few additional shortcuts. I'd be especially interested to hear people's feelings on this one, so please comment below. You can use pets such as cats to get extra lives, but be warned, they don't have 9 lives. Drop them or throw them a few times and they are dead. In terms of graphics, I liked the game's comic art style and the level of detail on characters and objects is good. Talking about time to beat, the game takes about 18 hours to finish. That said, there are a number of speedruns posted online, with the best taking under 3 minutes to finish. Well worth a look. There are a number of different game modes in Spelunky 2, with arguably the most popular being the co-op online multiplayer mode. This can be played with friends or by using random matchmaking. It is really fun to play and the matchmaking is super fast. Working together with others to complete the game actually brings down the difficulty level and is a good option if you're struggling to complete the game on your own. Thanks for joining me today on the 5-minute game review. Before I finish, a reminder to please click the like and subscribe buttons for more of my content. So what's the verdict on Spelunky 2? This is a crazy addictive game. Right before playing this, I was hooked on playing Hades, but Spelunky 2 is a whole other level. The creator, Derek Yu, speaks of getting stuck in game development loops on the Mossmouth website, and I think he's taken his knowledge of loops and applied it to create the ultimate player loop in Spelunky 2. A very fun loop at that. I warn you now, if you play Spelunky 2, there'll be a lot of just one more run moments. I would definitely recommend this game, particularly if you're a fan of platformers, and if you do get frustrated with it at first, I would stick with it as it's a very rewarding game to play once you start making some progress.